Peace and blessings is real. First and foremost, I want to take this time and give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh through his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, for allowing his word to come out. And I hope you sincere, brothers and sisters, is edified by this word. And the name of the lesson is called Jake Can't Receive the Holy Scriptures because he is under the influence of spiritual heroine. Let me say it again. Jake can't receive the Holy Scriptures because he is under the influence of spiritual heroine. That's right, man. In this spiritual walk, Jake would be symbolic to the Israelites, okay, who the Bible speaks of, who the scriptures, who the Holy Scriptures and the Bible and the laws and the statutes was set up for. And right now we're in dangerous times, and Jake is completely lost. Okay, trying to preach to Jake today is a waste of time. It's a travesty, man. It's really sad. What you see on the screen is an example of what it looked like metaphorically and symbolic to someone that's under the influence of spiritual heroin. You see? We know heroin is an opioid drug that's made from morphine, okay? We also understand that heroin is known as hell dust. Some people might call it smack, you see? And when you mix heroin with crack cocaine together, they call that speedballing. And you got individuals that are walking around mentally and spiritually with a speedball mentality. You see? Now, one of we're going to talk about a few effects, a few of the many effects of spiritual heroin, what it does to you. And the number one thing that heroin do to you spiritually is it clouds your mental functioning. Okay, you suffer from clouded mental functioning. Okay, that's where you're less wakeful. You're not aware of time. A lot of times you're not aware of your surroundings. What happens is it's difficult for you to pay attention, and you're really walking around with a foggy mind. So not only do you literally deal with clouded mental functioning, but in the spiritual realm, you also deal with the effect of a clouded mental functioning, being that you are under the influence of spiritual heroin. You see? Also, another effect that we must pay attention to when you are under the influence of spiritual heroin is insomnia, okay, which is a sleep disorder where you lack sleeping, you see? And that's exactly spiritually, when it comes to spiritual heroin, you're walking around like a zombie, man. Up all night, can't sleep. Yeah. And that's exactly what happened when you try to minister the Bible, when you try to minister the Holy Scriptures to Jake. He can't receive it because he's under the influence of spiritual heroin. The same thing that you see on the screen. Now we're going to get into this word, and we're going to come out, I think I'm going to come out with about 4 or 5 scriptures, man, that's going to show you the effect and what it's like dealing with trying to preach this gospel, okay, to those that are under the influence of spiritual heroin. And the first scripture we're going to bring you is Luke 21 and 36, and it reads, Luke 21, verse 36, okay, and it reads, "Watch ye therefore, and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. You see that? That was a powerful scripture, man. And what I want us to focus on in Luke 21:36, it says, watch ye therefore. In other words, you got to be circumspect. You got to be ready. You got to be attentive. You see? How can you be circumspect? How can you be ready? How can you be attentive when you are under the influence of spiritual heroine? There is no way you can watch, therefore. You see, there's no way, because you have a clouded mental functioning. You are suffering from insomnia. So there's no way you can watch, therefore, and always pray. You see, because you under the influence of spiritual heroine, you ain't even got no mindset to even pray. You see, it says, watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape. How you going to escape, man, when you in a slumber spirit? How you going to escape when you under the influence of spiritual heroine? Do you see what's on the screen? A person that's in this mind state is not going to escape. They're going to walk right into whatever necessary traps that's out there, man. Yeah. Cold-blooded, right? Next scripture we're going to bring you is in that Matthew chapter 24, verses 42. And it reads, chapter 24, verse 42. It says, watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord do cometh. You see that? That's cold-blooded. It says, watch therefore. In other words, man, you have to give strict attention. You have to be cautious. You have to take heed. How can you be cautious? How can you give strict attention? How can you take heed when you under the influence of spiritual heroine? It's not going to happen. It says, watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord do cometh. When the Lord, no one knows the hour when the Lord's going to come. But when you under spiritual heroine, you ain't got a chance. Even when the Lord come, you're going to be so out of it, you're not going to be able to understand what's happening to you, man, because you're zapped. You're spiritually zapped, man. It's cold-blooded, man. It's cold-blooded. What's the name of the lesson? Once again, man, Jake can't receive the Holy Scriptures because he is under the influence of spiritual heroine, man. Yeah. Jake is in bad shape. That's why it's frustrating to try to minister to Jake today with all the things that's going on. When you look at Jake, he's out here ass naked. He's out here like a walking zombie. You see, you try to minister the Holy Scriptures to him, and he can't receive it. That's why you got these people riding around, driving like mad men and mad women, you know, speeding behind the wheel, killing people with their cars, running red lights. I mean, this is all symbolic to someone under the influence of spiritual heroine. I mean, look at the senseless murders that's taking place. Domestic violence is at an all-time high. Adultery. I mean, all of these things are taking place, man, in these times, man. And what people don't understand is a lot of these people are suffering from the influence of spiritual heroine, man. Cold-blooded, right? The next scripture, man, we're going to bring you is in Ephesians, man. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 14, man. And it reads, let me make sure I got it. Just bear with me. Ephesians 5, verse 14. And it reads, watch, therefore, he said, awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Yahushua shall give thee light. The key word that I want us to focus on, the first thing it says what? Awake thou that sleepest. Okay, first of all, it's asking for you to arise. Okay. Now, if you have mental clouded functioning issues, if you dealing with asomnia, that means you're lacking rest, which means that you're gonna always be tired, which means that you don't have to worry about waking up out of your sleep because you already woke. You don't have to worry about arising because you already woke. You see? It says in Ephesians 5:14, it says, wherefore he said, awake thou that sleepest. You see, those that sleep is not talking about literal sleep. It's talking about those that yield to sloth and sin. It's asking for those individuals that's prone to sin to arise. But see, when you under the influence of spiritual heroine, you can't arise, man. You're in a slumber. It says, awake it thou that sleepest and arise from the dead. You see that? There's no way you can arise from the dead because you're already dead. Ain't no rising from the dead. You're dead. You're done. When you're under the influence of spiritual heroin, you can't rise from the dead, man, because you're done in the building, man. Cold-blooded, man. Cold-blooded. You see? We got a couple more scriptures, man, and we're going to get ready to close out this word. The next scripture we're going to bring you is in that 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 13. And it reads, wherefore, gird up the loins of your mind, be sober, and hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Yahushua. You see that? Now, the key word that I want you to focus on in 1 Peter 1 and 13, it says, gird up thy loins, gird up the loins of your mind. That's the first thing it calls for. In other words, man, you have to be prepared for alertness necessary for sobriety. You see that? When you are under the influence of spiritual heroin, there's no way you can be prepared for alertness necessary for sobriety. Sobriety ain't even in your mindset because you're in a stupor. Being drunk is where you rather be at. It says, gird up the loins of your mind, aka be prepared for alertness necessary for sobriety. You see that? That's cold-blooded, man. That's cold-blooded. Not only do you gird up your loins of your mind, but it also says be sober. You see that? It says be sober. We both know when you under the influence of spiritual heroin, there's no way you can be sober. There's no way you can have your eyes open. There's no way you can be in your right frame. You see? So once again, man, Jake can't receive the Holy Scriptures, man, because he's under the influence of spiritual heroin, man. Cold-blooded. And we're going to close it out in Revelations, man. Okay? Revelation 16, verse 15, man. We're going to close this out, man. And it reads, behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked, and they see his shame. Come on, man. I ain't got to say nothing else to you. That's clear, plain, and perfect, man. The key word I want you to focus on in Revelation 16 and 15 is it says, blessed is he that watcheth. In other words, happy is he that gives strict attention. Happy is he that be cautious. Happy is he that take heed. You see? But you can't be cautious. You can't give strict attention and be cautious and take heed when you under the influence of spiritual heroin. You're definitely not going to be happy. You see? It says in Revelation 16 and 15, Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth. A man that's under spiritual influence, under the influence of spiritual heroin, he can't watch and keep his garment, lest he walk it naked. In other words, man, you're going to be walking without your clothing, literally, and you're going to be out here butt naked spiritually, man. Yeah. And that they see his shame. When you under the influence of spiritual heroin, man, people see your shame. You know how frustrating it is, man, to be able to try to minister the Holy Scriptures to Jake and understanding that he can't receive it because he's under the influence of spiritual heroin, man. What you see on the screen, this is what's happening with Jake spiritually, man. You're not going to be able to get through to him. He's gone. He's gone. He's completely off the map, man. And you're looking at why on the screen. Here's a beautiful example of why Jake can't receive the Holy Scriptures. Because he is under the influence of spiritual heroin, man. That's cold-blooded. I hope you sincere brothers and sisters is edified by this word. And we give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh through his only begotten son, Yahushua, for allowing this word to come out, man. Shalom.